All right, we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Hustle and Grow Show. This is the podcast where we shine a spotlight on the incredible journeys of small business owners. I'm your host and fellow entrepreneur myself. My name is Alexis Talent. Each week, we're going to bring on and do an inspiring interview with entrepreneurs just like Melissa who have hustled and grown and showed their success. All right. So, whether you're just starting out as an entrepreneur or simply curious about the world of small business, this podcast is going to be your go to source for inspiration and knowledge. So, let's dive in. So, Melissa, to start off, go ahead and introduce yourself for us.
Hey all, I'm Mel, and I'm a travel advisor, and I'm excited to be here with Alexis. Thank you so much for inviting me. And yes, I am entering into a elevator. I am on vacation with my family while I'm doing
Love
this.
that. Where are you on vacation at?
We're in Destin, Florida.
Oh, lovely. I had
Florida
some cool time
waters.
yesterday.
Oh, fun,
Wish I
fun.
could be on
I'm
the beach with you.
here.
All right, Miss
Definitely.
Mel, can you start by telling us a little bit about your background, like what inspired you to start your own business?
So really, oh gosh, we traveled a lot before my son was born, but after settling into new family life, we kind of just took a pause and wanted to put a hold on taking vacations and save up for our home. And, actually, this isn't my first rodeo. I'm sorry, what was the number of that, real quick?
2356.
Awesome, thank you. And so I was actually a yoga instructor prior to being a travel advisor. I always like to say I'm a Jill of all trades because I've done it all. And when the pandemic had happened, I took a hit with my business and it suffered just like everybody else did, unfortunately. I couldn't bring myself to get back out there. I had extreme anxiety even when all the restrictions were lifted, and I just didn't know how to get back into the real world anymore, unfortunately. And I took some time off. I had to focus on myself and my family. And it wasn't until recently when my husband took a temporary job assignment in California that we were like, oh my gosh, our 10-year anniversary is coming up. We haven't done anything. So we decided at the last minute to go to um, New Orleans. Sorry, I was opening a big gate. And it was very eye opening. I've been on an airplane. I haven't been on an airplane in, gosh, 5 years. So when I went on it, that's when I realized I have not been living life to the fullest. I've been staying in my bubble. Date night for us was, hey, let's go get something. Let's bring it back home. I don't want to be around people. As funny as that is, whereas now it's like, I want to be out in society. I want us to go enjoy things. I want us to do things. And literally, that's what sparked me to want to become a travel advisor. And here I am 4 months later now.
And here you are traveling, literally on
Absolutely.
the beach.
Literally.
I love that. I love that. So I know you just said you're a travel agent. My next question was, what is your business? What do you do? And I guess what sets you apart in your industry from the other travel advisors?
So, really, what sets me apart is one, I love to do it all. I don't like sticking with just one particular thing. I love to help out with business trips. I love to help out with destinations all over the world. And it is very near dear to my heart that my son has high functioning autism. And I do eventually, I'm slowly working myself there, but I want to become more specialized for the special needs family population because unfortunately we don't realize that there's a lot of resources out there. And had I known that, I wouldn't have let that stop us from traveling as well. And it is very, very difficult to travel when you just don't know all the resources that are out there.
Exactly. Yeah. I love that. That's a really great way to advocate for the autism community as well as with travel advising. I love that.
Absolutely.
I have a small background in special education, so I have a soft place in my heart for that.
Oh, I love it.
So as you know, a lot of small business owners and just small businesses, in fact, they do face, unique challenges. So What are some of the biggest obstacles that you've encountered thus far, and how have you overcame them?
One of the biggest obstacles I'm facing is even though I've been networking like crazy, I'm out there every day, whether it's in person or online, and it's amazing. I love it, and I gain new followers that way. However, it's not followers in the sense of wanting to book right now, or maybe it's just them not knowing someone who needs to book at this very moment, and that's what I've been discovering
So just trying to like build up clientele essentially.
at this moment. Yeah.
Okay. So, I guess what would be your most ideal way for you to get more support, more clientele? Like, what's your ideal referral partnership?
As far as referral goes, I sadly haven't even thought about that because this is just such a new business world to come into. It's a whole different career path to be into. I'm still trying to learn all the lingos in that and see, like, well, could we be a good fit?
Okay. Yeah, I love that. Um, so I guess with you just mentioning that you have a family, you're out on vacation right now, but how do you personally have a work balance and a life balance as a business owner? Like, what have you done that's achieving that healthy work-life balance?
Oh, I would say it's very difficult. It is no walk in the park, especially being a mom. But honestly, I've never had a problem with scheduling or time management. I've always been really about that. My dad was in the army for X amount of years, and it was always ingrained for me to show up on time, never late. And I can tell you right now, my calendar has things filled up from 6 months from now.
I
And
love that.
honestly, I just think it just kind of it's not that bad for me. It works for me, but I can't say that for every mom out there, and it can be hard when you have more than just one kid. But hey, I love a super mom who's able to balance it all for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, not everyone is the same when it comes to parenting as well. With you and I, there's a bit of a difference. I'm a single mom, right? So I have two, and I have my business, but man, I lean on my parents for everything. If I
I
didn't have
feel
my parents, I don't know where I'd
right.
be.
Right, exactly. And like I still use my parents as well. I will admit that. Date nights are still very important, and I do have a very strong love for single parents as well. And hey, it's really hard. It's hard as a single parent. I say I don't know what that's like, but I kind of went through it when my husband was working for 3 months, and being on my own was like, oh God, this is a shell shock. How do people do this?
It's definitely not easy. It's definitely not for the weak. I agree. It's hard, but it's awesome that you are able to have your family life and balance it with your work life. And like we just mentioned, you're on the beach right now. I love to see that. I love that you're out there exploring. Like you said, that was one of your goals moving forward in life. So that's amazing to
Yes.
see. So you're on the right track, it sounds like to me.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. So I do want to kind of dive a little bit deeper into your topic that we kind of talked about with building clientele. Now, I know you're a part of the Facebook group Hustle and Grow Small Business Support. I've seen you very active in the group. You said you go to networking events, and you are on social media. But if you had to refine to one thing in particular that could help you get the most support, what would you think would you need?
Ooh, ooh. Can I
It's a
come
tough
back to you on
one.
that one?
Yes,
Yes.
you may. So then I'll kind of switch gears a little bit, but in the Facebook group that you've seen so far, has it been something that has supported you, or what would you like to see differently inside the group to help with your business?
I love staying active and engaging because as a small business owner, I see other people suffering and needing help as well, and I love referring other people and letting them know, like, hey, I know so and so who is looking for that type of business. I haven't had that quite yet, and that's okay from anyone on the group, but it's still really it's good to stay informative and to really just stay active. And you never know. I could come across somebody down the road on there who's new and is coming across the group, And I really wish I could have made it in person to the event you had a couple Saturdays ago. And unfortunately, I had other prior engagements that day.
No worries. There'll be plenty more. There'll be plenty more. I'm actually trying to figure out what we're going to do next. I want to make it kind of more of a fun, interactive. I don't know if you saw, I went to, over the weekend to this place called Cidercade where you can play video
Yeah,
games. I thought that would be kind of cool to have an event there for networking.
absolutely. Is that the one in Watauga?
It was actually in downtown Fort Worth. I believe it had just opened just recently. There's a couple different locations though.
Yeah, I mean, that's amazing. I mean, what a grown adult doesn't like playing something like that?
Yeah, me and my son went back and forth, man, on the pinball machine. It was a blast.
Love it.
So, um, are there any upcoming projects or exciting developments in your business that you'd like to share today with our listeners?
Oh my gosh. I'm trying to do it all. That's one thing I can say I'm a little bad about. I love to try to learn as much as possible, try to take all the trainings I can as much as possible. Just because I'm specialized in Switzerland or Tokyo, that doesn't mean I don't know I don't have knowledge about other countries. I do. It's just I'm able to know more deeper. I'm able to go dive deeper, and yeah, it looks great, right? So right now, I'm currently trying to become an Atlantis ambassador for the Bahamas. I'm getting training in that, as well as a couple of hotels under my belt too, and just knowing the ins and outs. Even though, as a travel agent, or let me phrase that, they love saying travel advisor. Well, we don't use agents very much,
I did
but
list you as agent, sorry.
no worries. And what do you call it? So yeah, I just, even though we get all this training, but that doesn't mean I know all the ins and outs about in a hotel and the rewards that you can get or collect. And it's good to have that kind of knowledge under your belt. And obviously that way you know what you're talking about to someone who has those type of questions. And I'm trying really hard to work on weddings as well. I think it's amazing when someone wants to get married in a different destination, whether it's in Florida or Mexico or the Caribbean. I mean, there's just endless options and endless opportunities.
Absolutely. So, me personally, I don't really know too much about what a travel advisor does. Is there a way for you to kind of share with us exactly what your role is as a travel advisor and how you help your clients?
Absolutely. So I don't run my business solely just myself. I do, but I do use a hosting agency, and that's how I'm licensed, insured, and bonded through them. And that's what gives me all the perks to be able to take all the trainings and I and it's not just trainings. Like we do a lot of group meetings and online. We have like massive events in person. Of course, they're not all in Texas because there's everybody from the entire United States all over. The main biggest one that I just recently missed when I started was in Las Vegas, and it was like a 3 day event, which was amazing. I guess you can say it was a convention, really, but it helps motivate you, and it's like inspiring because it's like, yeah, you're wanting to push yourself. And for me, I don't like coming out as a salesy type of way. I like it when people want to come to me, or I'm able to market like, hey, have you thought about maybe going to a different island this time, or maybe we could talk about a Europe trip. I know it sounds kind of salesy, but it's not. I don't know. I don't want to think of someone as just as another client. I want them to be more than that. I want to establish more of that relationship, and I want them to keep coming back to me. Obviously, I would love it too if they're able to refer me, but I just, again, I don't want to see someone as a client. I don't like that. I don't like that as a person, but I don't know. Maybe other people like just having that fine line of, okay, this is just strictly professional.
Right. No, I totally understand that. And so when you are, I guess booking travels or vacations, do people stay with you like from years on end, or is it just you help them with their vacation and then you're kind of done with that whole
Oh
relationship,
gosh,
or how does that work?
gosh, no. I love providing support from the very beginning to the very end, even when they return from a vacation. I want to know how it went, or are there any areas that I need to improve in that maybe you were sadly dissatisfied, but hey, that's what helped me become advisor, right? I mean, there's always room for learning and criticism. I don't take that bad at all. I think good constructive criticism is really healthy. That way, you know how to grow as an individual, and you can serve people in a better manner. And like even now for even our own trip, I did a pre-travel expense, pre-itinerary. I put that together and stopped. We have an electric car actually, and we just got it. It's a Volkswagen 94. We were able to map out where all the charging stations were from Texas to Florida.
Oh,
So
wow.
if
So
anyone
there's a
has,
lot of work that goes into it.
yeah, so if anyone has an electric car, let me tell you, you can do it. You can make it happen.
See, I never knew the ins and outs of travel advisory. I didn't know if it was just like, here's a great place to go, check it out, or it sounds like you're doing a lot for your I guess clients. I don't know what term would you rather me say than client, I guess.
I guess right now that's
How would you?
okay.
Okay. I don't know how to phrase it, but I love that we have this, interview here today because I've went on vacation plenty of times, but never actually sat down and like planned out my trip and what all I needed to do. I mean, I drove to San Antonio to take my kids there, and I was like, man, I wish I would have planned this better. I was just driving down the road trying to find. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got 10 miles till E. I'm in the middle of nowhere. What do I do? So
Right.
I love that.
Thank
So,
you.
can you just like walk me through a little bit of the process of how you are planning the trip for your customers?
So recently, I was able to plan a trip for somebody who wanted to go to Italy, to two different cities in Italy, and to one city in Greece. It's a very, very in-depth, meticulous, in-depth plan. Because each city she wanted to go to was for four days, and Greece for 4 days as well. So let me tell you, I had to learn something new actually. You cannot just directly fly into a Greek island. You have to fly directly into Athens and then catch a ferry boat to the Greek island. I didn't know that. So
Me either.
now, now I know, and then I've had to like really educate myself a lot on the Europe Express train. One-way tickets are $30, and about 30-minute train ride, so it's not too bad. So she wanted to go to Rome first, and then Sorrento, which is very gorgeous, along with spending a day while in Sorrento to the Capri Island, and that you have to take a ferry there as well. And then she would have to go back to Rome, take the train back to Rome, take the airplane from Rome to Athens to get to her final destination in the Greek island, and then leaving from the island back to Athens, from Athens to Paris with a 17-hour flight or layover, and then the flight was that next morning, and then she would be able to come back to Texas. And her mother and sister were not from Texas; they're from Oregon. So then I had to do a separate airfare plane ticket for them.
So you plan all of that, correct? So you go online, you book all of the flights, all of the transportation for them, and they don't have to worry about like when am I going to do this flight? And if something happens, do they call you and you fix it
Absolutely.
mid trip? Okay, that's
Yes, I am.
awesome.
I'm on standby. I am text, phone call, email. I'm never far away because you never know what can happen. Unfortunately, when you're on a trip, especially when it's a trip for your birthday, your 40th birthday, that's what
Yeah.
it was for. And it wasn't just planning that out as either. It was about sightseeing places. Okay, well, how do we want to like plan that out? Is this a morning thing? Is this an afternoon, or is this an evening? What type of rooftop lunch are you wanting to do, or is that going to be more of a rooftop dinner? Are you just wanting to go do mixology drinks, or maybe go
Oh.
pull I Love Lucy and go make your own wine in the vineyards?
That's awesome. See, I never knew like how much planning went into a trip, right? So it's awesome
Right.
that you're able to really refine that because I think sometimes when people are traveling, they want to see everything, but it's great that you have a way to get them to exactly what's most important to them, get them there on time, make sure that if anything did happen, it's awesome that you're on standby for them to be able to go and fix whatever or fix the solutions, to be able to keep their trip going the way they want it to be and I guess easily accessible, right? That's awesome.
Absolutely. With no headache.
I really never knew that. I've never worked with a travel advisor before, so I'm learning so much myself with you being on here today, and I'm like, I'm definitely not booking a vacation without your help. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
absolutely. I mean, heck, if you needed help planning for, like you're saying, your San Antonio trip, you could have, girl, call me next time.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I don't think I'm ever gonna travel again without someone's help because I don't know what I'm doing.
No worries.
So we're coming up on our 10-minute mark here until we finish up. So just to kind of wrap up, do a little bit of closing, there's something important that I was going to ask you now. It's
Okay.
what is one question that you wished I would have asked you earlier, and how would you have answered it?
Ooh, one question.
I'm
Let me
stumping you.
see. Yes. Hmm. You know,
Or if there's anything that you want to say that I never got a chance to ask you, something that you want to say about your business, yourself, your journey, anything of that matter.
yeah, as far as my journey goes, I would say honestly, it's still a learning curve for myself. I'm still finding myself in my voice. That is definitely something I felt like I didn't have after the pandemic. Being part of networking groups has really helped me find that and coming out of my shell. I mean, you have to come out of your shell, especially when you're talking to people, interacting, whether it's in a professional networking circle group or someone who's wanting to plan that next trip. It's there's just a different fine line there, and I'm just continuously learning a lot more about myself in a positive way.
I love that. That's an amazing answer, and I'm so happy that you are finding your voice. And it's amazing that you're joining so many communities and really putting yourself out there. And like you said when we talked before, oh, you're so nervous for the podcast. Yeah, me too, girl. But you did amazing, just to let you
Thank
know. And
you.
it's awesome to see that you are doing things that you've never done before, and it's helping you on your personal journey and with your business. So kudos to you. Shout
Thank
out
you.
to you. That's amazing. And one last thing, Miss Mel, where can our listeners find you online?
Oh gosh, I didn't put my logo. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I'll figure out how to help that too. I'm new to the StreamYard, but yeah, what? Go ahead and shout out your social media for us.
So my social media on Facebook, I don't have Instagram. It's just solely Facebook right now. It's called Mel's Travel Nest. And the reason why I have it as the nest, you'll find out more if you decide to go on there and read a short blog explaining why I chose the nest.
You wrote a blog. Sorry,
Yes. Sorry, they're
Mel's
playing.
Travel Mel's Travel Nest.
Correct.
Correct. Okay. Let me see if it pops up here. There we go. Mel's Travel
Yay.
Nest. So, guys, if you're watching and listening, this is Mel's Facebook page, Mel's Travel Nest. And like she said, you can find out about her, what she does. She's on the vacation right now, so I would trust her with mine. Um, so we're gonna hop off, Mel, off of Facebook. Don't end your broadcast yet. I do want to take a picture with you. And if you have anything else to say, you could say it now and before we hop off.
Oh, you know what? Thank you so much for this opportunity. I really enjoyed it, and I hope you were pleased.
Absolutely. And I'm so happy to have this, podcast, and I'm looking forward to many more. So thank you for being the first person here with me today. It was an absolute pleasure getting to talk to you and to find out more. And I learned a lot myself from you. So thank you so much as well.
Absolutely.
Well, Facebook community, we will see you next time. And don't forget to follow Hustle Hub. Bye, everybody.
Bye.